Hi, I'm Tybo, and today we'll look at another AT machine from Olivetti. We actually previously looked at the M280, which was the 8 megahertz version of the AT machine. Today we're gonna look at the M280. It's still an AT286, but this one runs at 12 megahertz. So let me put it on the table and let's have a look at it. And let me adjust the camera. So here on my table we see the Olivetti 280 with the lovely marking with the name M280. We have a loudspeaker thing going on here, and we have a green lighting, and underneath that one it actually says power on. This one says hard disk. This one seems to be the reset button for the unit, and here we have another LED which will turn on if the key over here has been turned. So, and we see the typical grill from Olivetti and the other grills here, which is how Olivetti used to do the design of their computers. This unit is with a 5.25, and it's a 1.2 megabyte unit. I will open it up shortly, but I will assume that there's a hard drive somewhere in here. As you previously know from my other video about the M280, this is a 3-unit casing. We have the power switch, and here we actually start seeing some damages. So this is almost breaking off. There's a crack in here. There's a button that's missing, which will show what you have put in here. So up here we have one saying 1.2 megabyte, and there should actually be one saying nothing. It's a bit dirty, and on top of it, it's very rusty. If I turn it a bit around, sides, and here we come to the back, and here we can see that the rust is actually showing. If I tilt the computer a little bit while you're looking at it, you can see the top casing is very rusty. So this is gonna be a trip to our glass blaster, where I will remove all the painting and the rust, and I will repaint it, or that will be in another episode. So from the back, we see the power in and the power out. Down here we have a keyboard connector. This is the fan. Here we have parallel and the stereo. And in this case, the 7 slots are from the outside populated by 2 units expansion cards. So one is obviously for the monitor, CRT, and this one seems to be some sort of Ethernet controller. We'll have a look when we're inside it. If I turn it further around, the other side, also rust showing in here. And then we are back at the front. Let me find the screwdriver and let's pop it open and see what we have inside. Here's the screwdriver. I unscrewed the screws behind it, so it should be a push, or in this case a pull, to get the top off. There we go. And it's not easy, which probably tells me there's a lot of rust inside. Yes, that's rusty. So I need to figure out how to treat this. There's a lot of rust inside here. But maybe some vinegar we'll fix this one. We'll see. So with the case open, we can now have a look inside and turn it a bit around first to see it from behind. So over here we have what seems to be a network card. Let me just quickly take it out so we can have a closer look what it is. Obviously, I just lost the screw inside the cabinet. Hold on a second. Well, it's not one. Found it. There we go. Sorry. So, what do we have here? This says LCS 8834 revision B2. So this is a board I've never heard of, I've never seen. It doesn't bear the usual Olivetti markings where you see the actual model. So I have no idea what this is, but I will figure it out and I'll put a description. There's a lot of dip switches, or switches down here. So this is probably for configuring it, and some up here. There we go. The next card is the Videographic Controller. So let's try to take that out. And this time I'll be careful with the screw. There we go. And this is a Paradise. So this is a typical Olivetti one. This is with the Olivetti branding one. So this one is the GO481 and it's from March 89. So, and over here we have the RAM. I will expect this to be 256. We'll see. The last card we see inside, that is most likely, let me have a closer look inside. It's hard disk controller and it's a floppy disk controller combined together. So we see if we can get them out. I can say that the screws are also, some of them rusted into the cabinets. And we need to remember to take the LED lighting power out here. There we go. So yeah. Again, this has the Olivetti branding. And this one says GO714. 11th month 1987. Oh, yeah, there we go. So it seems that cleaning this is not gonna be as easy, because if we look a little bit over here, this is covered in rust. So this back plane here needs to be taken off, and it's, have a look here, it's also rusty outside here. So there's a lot of rust. There's a little bit of corrosion going on up here and over here on the power supply. The actual power supply for itself looks okay, but I'll check it out and we'll have a closer look. So seems that I'm gonna have a lot of work. That's part of the job, right? Let's take the power supply out. Before I do that, I will unhook all the units. Makes it easier for access. This comes with two parts for extra units. One here and the other one here, which goes to the hard drive. Let's see. Well, that's not so easy. Let's get some room. As we know, everything is screwed together, and in this case the floppy disk is not even screwed in. No, so I'll just pull it out. There we go. This will probably need some cleaning. We'll figure that out later. So this should give us some more room to pull out the power supply. So there's a screw down here, there's a screw up there, which then lets us take this power supply out. And we also need to unscrew this screw. This screw is the one that connects this power to the front. It goes underneath the cabinet, and then it actually goes in the front to the on and off button down here. We saw all this on the M280, where we discovered that this wire went to the on off button. So let's get it out. This. So over here we have the 5 volt and ground. This is the red and black wire. They go to the main board, providing power to the main board. And this one provides the 12 volt, which also goes to the main board down here. So with all this unscrewed, the only challenge we have left is to get the power for the fan out and the ground up here. In order to get access to the fan, we need to have this off, so we have 2 additional screws here we need to remove. Which one removes this one? Oh, more rust. Yeah. So we can take it out. Okay. There we go. So this is the typical, it actually goes this way, sorry. This is the typical Olivetti power supply. And what is unique by this one is that you have the 2 boards, the lower part, this part, and the upper part. The lower part is the high voltage, the upper one is the low voltage, which then at the end provides the 12 and the 5 volt plus minus to the actual units. Let's see if we can open this up and take out the 2 boards and have a close look and maybe clean it up a bit. So the first thing we need to do is to unscrew, let me turn it a little bit around, 2 screws here, and we also need these 2 screws off, and on the side these 2. Once that's done, I can lift the unit out. So So here we have the 2 boards. This over here is the high voltage board, and this is then the low voltage, which provides the ±5 and the ±12 volts. So 12 volts over here, 5 volts over here, and this is combining the 5 and the 12 volts. It doesn't look that dirty, and it seems that it's in a fairly good shape. It just needs some cleaning. None of the capacitors seems to have any issues, as in bolting or anything. So I think this is good. Let me just clean it and come back to you then. All cleaned. My hands are extremely dirty, but this is now clean as it's gonna get. And I will assemble it back in the casing, because I'm not testing a power supply at all laying on a table. I put it back in the casing so that I'm more sure what's going on. I'm not touching anything. Just understand, this high power, I have no desire in touching it, because I have no understanding of whether it's what's going wrong and what should happen. So I'm not doing anything on this part besides cleaning it and looking at the capacitors and seeing if there's any leakages or anything that's broken, the fuse is working and stuff. That's it. They are specialists, people with high education who knows everything about this. I'm a novice and I'm not touching it. And I will hope the same goes for you. If you have no understanding, don't mess with it. It's high voltage. Once this has been powered up, in here you will have high voltage stuck in there for a long time. So if you touched anything, even though you unplugged it, you will get electrocuted. So don't do it. Over here, which is the low part, I have no problem in measuring anything on it. So I'll bring this out and we'll see if we get the right voltage out of this. Let me just move stuff away. There we go. And I cleaned it with isopropyl alcohol, IPA, just so you know. It's all there gone. So let's see if we can get it back. We need to figure out how to turn it the right way. So this is how the unit goes. So we have the power there, which means this is the high voltage. Oh, one thing I just forgot to mention is that the high voltage actually is designed so that you just need to move these jumpers over here, which then means this will then provide, can then take 110 voltage instead of the 220. So it's just a jumper that you move over. So very clever. Figure out which way it's turning. It's turning this way. Can be a little bit of a struggle because it needs to go in between these, the bottom also on both sides. So it's a little bit. There we go. Let's see if we turned it the right way around. So we have the voltage up there, and I just need to find not much room in here. And then you need to tip it over so it goes underneath this one. Like so. And then you should be able to put it down like that. There we go. I will screw the screws back in. And that should be enough. Just let me. There we go. One power supply sample again. So we are ready for testing. Still haven't plugged it in. Just so you know, haven't done that. So I hooked up the voltmeter to the 5+ and the ground. After that, we can test whether the 12 volt is also correct, and we should be able to find the 12 and the 5 voltage out of here. So we'll do that. Let me hook it in and see if any smoke comes out. I'm gonna say I've had to hook it up to the computer also. Can't see it up there, but let me just tilt the camera for a bit. So the computer's up here. So I had to hook it up so I can do the on and off. Currently, the computer is saying off down here, so that should all be good. Let me just tilt it a little bit down. There we go. Hope you can see the voltage, and I'll plug it in. It's now reduce, and I'll turn it on. Let's see if anything explodes. Perfect. We have 5.3 with no load at all, so that's good. Let's see if we can, if I change this into the probes. We should then be able so here we have the 12 volt, perfect. And if we go on the other side, we have the 5 voltage, perfect. And let's see if we can reach this one. I'm not sure I can get in, but we'll see. I can't reach it, but it's fine. I know it's working. So, all good. Let's unhook it, the power, and remember, no touching, because it still has high voltage on it. I will show you. So this is the 5 volt, and I'll now unplug it. Still 5, now it's going down, and I heard a tiny click. So it takes a while, but there's still high voltage in it. So don't touch it, leave it. Don't open it up, don't mess around with it. Let the professionals do that. So we tested a power supply, it's working, it's good. Disassembled some of the stuff. I also pulled out the hard drive. This has a marking saying hard drive 40 megabytes, so we'll see if that is correct. This is gonna be my episode 1, and due to that it's October, this is hashtag Olitober. So during October, I will finish up this computer in a few series. We'll see how many it will be. So power supply was this one. Next one I will completely disassemble and clean. There will probably be an episode, where I'm removing all the rust and the painting and repaint the computer outside and figure out what to do inside. And then we'll assemble it again and see it actually running. So thank you very much for watching this first episode of my Olitober, and hope you enjoyed it. You know this one if you liked it, or that one. And please do remember to subscribe so that you get the notification when I'm making new videos for you guys and girls. So for now, bye and see you around.